Look at this. I got this Wollensak, right? Where's the model number? There was a model number somewhere. I can't find it. Anyway, I got this Wollensak. I already broke it. There was a screw holding this pinch roller on, and it was stuck. So I, grabbed some pliers to see if I could twist it off, and the screw just like snapped in half in there. So there's really nothing holding the pinch roller on, which I mean, you know, that's not the biggest problem that this thing is facing right now. Also, the only thing that works right now is that it rewinds. None of the other functions work. I can hear motor noise, but nothing's moving. So I'm going to open it up and see what I can figure out. All right, we got this bad boy opened up. There's a big fucking capacitor in here. Big boy in there. So far as I can tell, all the problems are mechanical, so this isn't helpful at all. That might be something. I'm going to push buttons and see what happens. All right, you're never going to believe this. I broke another one of these screws. They just keep snapping. This is the one that was holding the... It's not going to go on now. It was holding this reel in place. It was that guy. It just broke. Very cool. But I did need to get under here so I can see what's going on. So basically, check this out. So I hit, this is rewind. No, this is stop. This is rewind, right? Push that. That's the motor right there. Flywheel engages with the motor, engages with the bottom of this thing, spins, rewinds your tape, bada bing, bada boom, you're good to go. Okay, so we hit stop. All right, so in order for it to play correctly, we need that motor to engage with this belt. And if you've ever dealt with these things before, you already know where the problem's going to be. And then that belt is going to turn this flywheel, right? Pinch roller would be here. And then it's also, because it kind of rubs up against this, it's also going to help push that and wind your tape. All right, so we push play. Everything mechanical goes where it needs to go. The motor is spinning, but the belt does nothing. This is shocking to no one, that the problem is the belt. Okay, I'm actually starting to think, because it's trying real hard. And I spun this around a couple times. I don't know if it's the belt. It might be that this is dry, and that's dry, and that's dry, and everyone's dry, because this has been sitting on a shelf in Minnesota for however long. So I'm going to try to lubricate a few things and see if... I mean, maybe it's not the belt. The belt is really loose, so I think it is, but maybe it's not. I don't know. Let's find out. It's alive! It's making a weird noise, but it's alive. Yeah, so the problem was actually this guy up there was like totally seized up. It's not happy, but it's moving, so that's a start. Okay, I figured it out, and the problem is that I broke it. So I did need to get underneath both of these reels to lubricate everything, but in the process of getting underneath those reels, I broke both of the springs holding the reels in place, so there's nothing but gravity holding this on. Now, the problem with that is that the screws were applying downward tension, so when I hit play, for example, that noise, and this is the end of the screwdriver turns, that's how this is working. Oh, look, it's gone. You know, if the screw's there holding it in place. Okay, great. How about fast forward? Oh, it doesn't seem to be working. What if the screw was there holding it in place? It would be working. Okay, very cool. Rewind was already working, because that's just a wheel against the motor. Okay, so, I mean, it moves now, but the screws are broken. So I fixed one thing and broke another thing. I'm just going to put it back together. Okay, so I got it put back together, and I hit play, and the take-up reel, as if you saw that, it raised up a little bit. Yeah, that's just because the screw holding it in place is, well, you know. But it still turns. I mean, if you want to get rid of that noise, you just push it down where it's supposed to be, and then that noise goes away. So, you know, I mean, fast forward, same deal, it pushes up. If you push it back down, it actually functions. Rewind, of course, still works. I'm going to find a tape that I don't care about, and I'm going to toss it on here and I'm going to see if I can get it to do anything. Alright, so we got the slug bug tape on here. I can hear nothing. Volume is set to 10. No, wait. Volume is set to 10. I can hear nothing. It's also at the wrong speed for that anyway, so whatever. Because all these screws are broken, the reels like to creep up away from the machine. So does the pinch roller. Watch the pinch roller when I hit play. It's kind of hard to see, but it very slowly raises itself away. And then when I hit stop, watch it. Pops back in place. Also, my camera won't focus on the Wollensak for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, so there's no audio coming out. I don't know. Given that this thing breaks like every time I touch it, I don't really want to mess with it anymore. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it's worth the time or the effort. But I did get it for free, so I mean, you get what you pay for the free Wollensak. But then I also got this this guy. I actually did pay money for this. Not very much money, thankfully. But it's an Edison Envoy. It says 578 on the top, but on the underside, it says Model 3. So, I don't know. I'm more inclined to believe Model 3, but I was actually able to find web results with 578. Yeah, this knob keeps falling off. There's a set screw in there. It's too tiny. I don't have a wrench small enough for that. I do think the volume slider is kind of funny. It like just kind of drags a piece of red paper across the front of it. I was able to find information on the Envoy Model 1, which is kind of like this. It looks pretty similar. Now, the problem with this one, I don't have a power cord for it. So, like, I can't test anything. As I look at it, I'm, poking around at it, thinking, oh, I mean, it would probably work. I don't know, though. It plays at 1 7/8. It's a dictation machine. It even has a little, I assume that's a speed knob. So you can, for dictation. It used to belong to the state of Minnesota. I don't know if it's ever going to focus on that sticker. My camera doesn't like to focus on things, which is kind of annoying. But it's got, this is where you plug the microphone in, which is wacky as heck. The microphone is really wacky. Of course, I don't have one, which is unfortunate. It's got the load and fast wind. This thing's kind of cool because, I mean, I assume I haven't been able to plug it in. You would push it for fast wind and then it releases when the cover is on. But when the cover's off, load. And it basically just moves some pads in the pinch roller out of the way. The pinch roller is in pretty decent shape, which is nice. And that is, of course, triggered by this, which would be depressed when the cover's down, which is why it doesn't lock in place. I think that's a speaker. It's got this thing, which I assume is meant to hold the microphone. You just slot it in there. I mean, I think that this thing just looks really cool. I've never seen anything like it. It also weighs a ton. Like, this is literally a brick, which is kind of cool. I also got, I went to Minnesota recently, so I got more stuff. I got a metronome, which is kind of cool. Okay, I got the metronome plugged in now, and it has a tube in it, so it needs to warm up. There it goes. And I think it's really neat on the inside because it's basically just like the speaker is just like a thin piece of wood over here, and it's just like hitting the piece of wood. And then this literally just adjusts how close the piece of wood is to everything else, which functions as a volume or kind of like an adjustment knob because at different speeds it functions, differently. Maybe. There it is. Anyway, really cool little electric metronome. I also got this, it says micro cassette recorder. I think it's actually a mini cassette recorder. Like, I don't think, it's got the leather case though, like still sealed, all the manuals and crap, which I think is worth it for that alone. But GE, it slides down. I'm pretty sure this is mini cassette. The spools aren't the right size for micro cassette. I actually tried jamming a micro cassette in here. It didn't fit right. So I am fairly certain this is for micro cassette or mini cassettes, excuse me, not micro cassettes. Um, which is fine because I don't actually have any of those, um, and the thing doesn't work anyway. So whatever. But it's neat to look at, I guess. So yeah, that's some stuff I got when I went to Minnesota this last weekend. In addition to some records, um, and a shark.